They never said winning was easy. Some people can't handle success. I can.
DJ Khaled, welcome, my brother.
My brother, everything good?
Everything is great. I felt like this was appropriate because I look at your Snapchat and I see how you are in your garden.
Beautiful day. Every chance I get. This is what I love doing, watering my plants. Success, more wins, more blessings. I'm forward. Lion!
What I want to do here today is tell the evolution of DJ Khaled. I'm very interested in the first moment that inspired you to be a DJ, when it clicked and said,
I was buying vinyl without being a DJ. From Michael Jackson to Sam Cooke to Ozzy Brothers to Peter Piper, or I would have the cassette tapes, and I would even try to like DJ on tapes. And you know, everybody knew they could come to me when they needed a song. You know, it all happened in a garage, you know what I'm saying? Just turntables, a mic, a drum machine. I wanted to make beats. Make a long story short, I went back to New Orleans because my family was over there. I just needed some help to get back on my feet. I worked at a record store called Odyssey Records. I brought turntables in there, and I used to DJ at the record store and sell tapes and CDs.
Something very special, hip-hop history happened in Odyssey Records.
What's so crazy about the whole Odyssey record thing was Birdman and Slim, they used to come to the record store in like an old Mercedes or something. It's like back in the days. They would come drop off tapes. The minute Birdman would leave and Slim leave, like an hour later, the tapes would be completely sold out.
Wow.
It was amazing because all the phone calls, record companies would call the record store to say, is this really happening? And I'd pick up the phone, I'm like, yeah, it's really happening. At the same time, I was networking. Like, I got to see beginning of Cash Money as a fan and as somebody working behind a record counter. I even got to see Master P. I used to work with his producers. I think it was his grandma's house, and they used to let me use the studio. I was making beats for some local rappers, so I would save my money up from the record store. I moved back to Florida to fulfill my career and my dream. Miami's my home, and Miami what I rap, you know?
Is this when you met two guys by the name of Andre Christopher Lyon, Marcelo Valenzano?
Come on, camera. I used to take the tri-rail in Miami and carry literally 25 crates. They finally gave me an opportunity to play, and I played after Cool Dre show. So I'm walking in the Cool Dre show about to sign off, and I'm setting my stuff up. At that time, nobody would bring an MPC to DJ.
Right.
I brought it because I used to have my sound effects in there, my artist drops in there. I was like, yo, my name is Khaled, boom, boom, about to come on. They showed me love. Matter of fact, I'll never forget, I had like a Lil' Kim vinyl. That was a promo, and I showed it to them. Oh, you got that? I got, you know, that, you know, DJs talk that.
So y'all bonding over
yeah,
the
we bonding, we
exclusive.
vibing. You know, when they left, I got their time slot. And when they came back 9 months later, you know, DJ Khaled, the hottest thing in the streets. From DJing and making beats, I started turning into a full producer. So I was called the Beat Novocaine.
Beat Novocaine. You ain't got to tell me, my brother.
Beat Novocaine. Go figure it.
A lot of Fat Joe albums, a lot of Terror Squad albums, Beat Novocaine.
Fab, Ludacris, and the list goes on.
Well, you can find him on the radio, in music videos, and in the club.
But DJ Khaled's not satisfied until he's got you nodding your head as he puts it down on the turntables.
But 10 years ago, 2006, you take your career in a new direction and you drop your debut album, Listen. Listen.
Listen.
Did you see that you'd be 9 albums deep? For a DJ to have 9 albums in a 10-year career.
At that time, they was telling me no DJs will support another DJ. They won't play DJ records on radio. And guess what? They probably was right, because it was hard. But I couldn't listen to that.
It's kind of hard to ignore records like Holla at Me Baby.
You got the right one. It's easy fucking
big record.
All I Do Is Win.
Timeless. I'm on one. We taking over. I'm so hood. Brown paper bag. I wish you would for free. I got the keys. I got 9 albums.
Now we talking about career evolution. How do you approach this album differently? You remember where you were with Listen the album, and then Major Key. Like, you've definitely evolved. Like, you've gotten better, you improved.
This is my first #1 album. I went all out.
Talk to me about I Got the Keys, right?
I got the keys, I got the keys.
With this record, I Got the Keys. I went to go see Hov. I was like, man, I want to play you something. I said, I know you ain't got no speakers. Because every time I see Jay-Z, he ain't got no speakers in his office. He's like, nah, I got speakers. And he had some big speakers too. Intro come on, and then rave talk.
Rave talk, we're talking that rave talk.
see him bobbing his head like this. And then I got the keys. So, you know, I'm trying to play it off and be all smooth about it. So I'm like peeping my eyes, see what he's doing. And I see him hearing what Future's saying on the hook. The instrumental part come on, and I hear him like mumbling.
He starts to mumble right away.
He's like, man, leave that for me. The next day, I wake up. My boy Hov was like, you ready? I'm thinking I'm getting one verse. The problem is, he started rapping another verse.
Got a bag reloads like fucking charges. Pop out the courtroom like
That's what I said. Oh, man. I see what he's doing. I see what this is. The reason why I held it, because I said if I would have let it go soon, I would have never got the video.
You would have lost the moment.
I know in his head, he's like, Khaled ain't let this record go yet. Khaled up to something.
I go on and on.
For free, you said you had the record since January, but Drake obviously was busy with views, and there was a big event when you finally got the Drake vocals on Snapchat. You went crazy. There was a celebration.
Felix, did the Drake vocals come in yet? So I'm shooting my album cover. Drake texts me with the second verse done. I even snapped and said, I think I said, the Drake vocals came in and that's the Lion, and the Lion went, ah. My first two singles was Drake and Jay-Z and Future. It's unbelievable.
Who came up with the title Nas album Done?
Me.
Amazing title for a song.
I was nervous. That's like somebody saying Khaled's album done title and not tell me. But you know, when he sent me the verses and you know, with the ooh la la sample, I was like, man, only people that can rap on this is the biggest.
Right.
You gotta be like the top 5 MCs, period. I was like, boom, he sent me the record. He ripping it when the second verse come in.
Still underestimated, every mistake a lesson, Mercury retrograde.
And then boom, he said, I put my album on hold, something.
I got you. Khaled called me when I was in album mode. So I put the album on hold for Major Key.
Khaled called me while I was in album mode, so I put it on hold.
When I heard that, I was in the back of a Rolls Royce with stars in the roof. If you think they want you to have a 4-door with stars in the roof, I couldn't believe it. When I heard that line, I was like this is all behind the scenes, nobody know. And I know I can't sleep at night because this is unbelievable. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call this Nas album Done. And the way I wanted to do it was, I wanted when the track listing came out, I wanted people to see it without hearing the whole song. And it says Nas album Done, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying?
This is
Holy Key features Big Sean, Kendrick Lamar, and then Betty Wright. Most people sample Betty Wright. You actually went to get her to perform. I
text her at 4:32 in the morning. I need you in the studio, and I need you in the studio now. She's like Miami's mother. She's like, Cal, you know you text me 4:30 in the morning. I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do. I always knew I wanted Kendrick on it. I was in LA at the basketball games and I sat beside Kendrick. And we at the game, I'm like, yo, Kendrick, I got this record.
He trying to watch the game.
Exactly, we got the game going. And he's like, yo, I love what you're doing right now. Send it through. So I'm gonna tell you the true story. I ain't send the record for like 3 months. I just was stressed out because I wanted to make sure it was the right record. Kendrick don't do too many features, and if he agrees to do a feature, that means he wanna do it. So I finally woke up, I'm like, you know what? This the record, and I know it's the record. Boom, I sent it to him. You know, his schedule's busy, but he said he got me. I have like a week left to turn my album in. I hit him with a cloth talk. I texted him with so much cloth. Let me inspire my brother.
How do you inspire Kendrick Lamar?
Easy, I said, I just got done watching you jumping on stage beside Beyonce rapping in the water. 2 days later, he sent me the verse.
everything I touch may disintegrate into.
So I hit Kendrick, man, this is so fire, boom, boom. So remember, Big Sean and Kendrick never heard no hook. They going off, there's no hook. I called Betty Wright and I gave her my ideas and she loved it and she did the hook.
Don't ever play yourself. So we have Fabulous, we have Jadakiss, we have Fat Joe, we have Busta Rhymes, all Titans, and we have this newcomer, Kent Jones. Did you set these guys up?
Well, I ain't set nobody up. He can produce, he can sing, he can vibe, he can do wave. He went bad. He was trending topic on Twitter for like 3-4 days straight. They saying he got one of the best verses of the album. Don't ever play yourself. Don't ever play yourself. Don't ever play yourself. Don't ever play yourself. Congratulations, you played yourself.
Father Forgive Me with Megan Trainor. You're not rapping, but I feel like this might be one of the most personal songs for you.
You gotta remember, even if I'm not rapping, it's my vibe. I make my albums around the title at that moment. And if you notice this whole album, Major Key, it's a lot of cloth talk, special cloth alert, don't play yourself, the keys, I like that. All my, you know what I'm saying? Because when I get with the artists, I get with them and I put them in my world, and we mix our worlds together with their talent and my talent, my greatness and their greatness. I'm on one of my biggest records. Thank you for making it #1.
Well, Khaled, man, I just want to thank you, man. I always say the most two valuable things we have as people is time and energy. And you giving us both, man, and been gracious, man. So I just appreciate you coming to sit with Genius and talk about this Major Key.
Now we do it.
My brother. Yeah, man, since we in Brooklyn Botanic Gardens, man, I see your appreciation for the plants in your backyard. I just wanted to bring you and share some of this knowledge of this plant life. We got somebody who's gonna walk us around.
I like that.
I like that. Let's go.
This is amazing. Rob, where we at?
Brooklyn Botanic Gardens.
Where we at?
Brooklyn Botanic Garden.
Okay. I like that. What's this called?
That's a maidenhair fern. And over here we got even more ferns.
Okay. What's your favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
I like that.
I love all plants. Doesn't matter what they are.
I love all plants.
They all need respect.
Yes.
What's your favorite? I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
Kick you when you down, but they want to kick it with you when you up. Stop. Stay focused.